Hello, everybody. How are we doing? I hope we are doing fine. I hope we are doing luscious. Now, of course, today, on this wonderful show that we have planned for you today, well, first off, let's start with some introductions in order. My name is Professor Void. And I like to research anything and almost everything on the internet. And I would like to take you on these little journeys of us discovering these little tidbits and know it alls and doohickeys and la 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 la's. And basically, maybe we actually might be able to learn something along the way. So, that is what I'm here to do today. Today, we are diving into a kind of a newer topic. Not a newer topic, but at least we haven't really discovered a landmass. Well, actually, we discovered Yellowstone. I lied. Never mind. We're so fucking advanced. We can handle anything, to be honest. So, but to kind of get you new people on a new premise is basically we type in a subject into a Wikipedia article and then we kind of just go from there, almost like a rabbit hole, researching as much as possible. We might get certain things wrong. We might get certain things right. We might discover brand new things. We might reiterate on older things. But you, as an audience member, is always welcome to add comments, add things that you would be interested in within the topic and throw new stuff in. I'm super excited for us to actually come in and try out these new things. But right now I got my wonderful little tea over here. Ah, that's good. It's good shit. Good stuff. By the way, also occurs a fuck ton. So adds to the entertainment value. So if you can't really handle that, go away. Cool. Let me sure I got that lined up right. Cool. So today we are going to be covering the Gulf Mexico. And I'm very interested on actually to see what exactly this entitles here. We're going to be covering at least like the basics of what Wikipedia provides, some of the landmass, the ocean, of course, and of course, leading up to, well, a lot of what's been happening in today's news, trying to follow up certain trendy topics. This is going to be like the first of when I'm actually going of me diving into a trendy topic. I hope you all enjoy it. But right now, let's set up some nice music, huh? Some nice, crazy music. That way for all of us to enjoy. How's that? Hopefully you all can hear this wonderful piece. It's Dim Dance by Franz Gordon. So, let's get right to it. Right. So, Gulf Gulf of Mexico. Now, of course, as we're diving into the basics here, we got to see what the hell is going down. So, to cover up the basics here, we have the Gulf of Mexico. Spanish for Golfo de Mexico is an ocean basin. In hydrology, an ocean basin may be anywhere on Earth that is covered by seawater. Geologically, ocean basins are large geological basins that are below sea level geologically. Just fucking geologically. There are other undersea. So, ocean trench, volcanic rock. Okay, so it just does that? Alright. Is an ocean basin and marginal sea. Marginal? This is the list of seas, world oceans. Okay. Is a marginal sea of the Atlantic Ocean, largely surrounded by the North American continental. It is bound on the northeast, north, and northwest by the Gulf of the United States. On the southwest and south by the Mexican states of Tamaulipas, Veracruz, Tabasco, Campeche, Yucatan, and Quintana Roo. And on the southeast by Cuba, the United States of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, which borders the Gulf on the north, are often referred to as the third coast of the United States. In addition, it is Atlantic and Pacific coast. The Gulf of Mexico took shape approximately 300 million years ago as a result of plate tectonics. The Gulf of Mexico basin is roughly an oval in shape and approximately 810 nautical miles. In America, that's 930 miles wide. Its floor consists of sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks? What the fuck is that? Sedimentary rocks are types of rocks that are formed in accumulation of deposition of mineral and organic particles. The floor consists of that and recent sediments. It is connected to part of the Atlantic Ocean through Florida Straits between the U.S. and Cuba and with the Caribbean Sea via the Yucatan Channel between Mexico and Cuba. So wait, oh yeah, because of its narrow connection to the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf experienced very small tidal ranges. The size of the Gulf Basin is approximately 1.6 kilometers, 615 square miles. Damn. Almost half of the basin consists of shallow continental shelf waters. The volume of the water in the basin is roughly 2.4 times to the 6th power cubic kilometers. The Gulf of Mexico is one of the most important offshore petroleum production regions in the world, making up 1/6 of the United States total production. Now let's dive into what YouTube has to say with what is. I am all capsing him. Fuck off. What is Gulf of Mexico? As you can see, we're definitely gonna be dealing with that. What do we got here?
It is bounded on the northeast, north, and northwest by the Gulf Coast of the United States.
Nah, hold up.
And if I can remind everyone to please mute your cell phone.
Which is the case in this part of the Gulf of Mexico.
It's a little bit of a boring there. Let's just I don't know. Let's try to stick with it, or maybe with something else. Right? Maybe. There's why scientists are concerned about the Gulf of Mexico and the seas, which is Gulf of Mexico. How about we just try to keep it 101? Gulf Stream drilling. Beach surfing 101. Oh, by the Gulf of Mexico catches paranormal Atlantic and Pacific. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are talking about it. Oh, hold up. Geology. Let's just do that. Hopefully we can at least get like the basics. Ancient origin of...
Let's time travel.
Oh.
Destination?
Oh, fuck yeah. Hold up. I like this. They got videos. They got things. They got all types of things that I love. All right. So, hello, CG Multimedia. We got YouTube for Kids. They're talking about the ancient origins of the Gulf of Mexico. Let's dive in on here, students.
Let's time travel.
Woo.
Destination? The early Jurassic period.
Oh, shit.
That's right, the days of the dinosaurs.
There's a, let's just say a problem. Right? Is that how you said it? Yeah, I think that's how you said it.
As we fly back in time 200 million years, you can see the continents
hell yeah.
changing shape and positions as the tectonic plates that form Earth's surface are on the move.
Uh-huh.
And we will arrive just in time to witness the birth of the Gulf of Mexico. In the early Jurassic, Africa was drifting eastward, saying goodbye to South America, which was moving towards the south.
Mm-hmm.
As the continents moved apart, ocean water entered the space they had occupied, and the Gulf of Mexico was born. The newborn Gulf was shallow, and its waters were warm. Those conditions, along with changes in sea level over the next 70 million years, resulted in extensive evaporation.
You see, I knew it. We didn't have to worry about anything with climate change. I knew it. It's going to take like 70 million years. That's how I just knew how that was going to happen. It took 70 million years for the seawater to rise. I think we're good.
The sun's warmth turned Gulf waters into water vapor, leaving behind huge salt deposits that covered large areas of land, creating landscapes that would have looked something like today's Bonneville Salt Flats near the Great Salt Lake in Utah.
I've drove past that before. It's crazy how like the dust splays up and you can't see like two cars ahead of you and stuff. You just like keep driving and the one car just disappears into this fog and it gets weird. It was just like you can like taste it through your AC. It was awful. I had to turn it off and sweating my ass in my car. It was awful.
During the Cretaceous period, higher seas covered the Gulf region. For the next 70 million years, as aquatic plants and marine creatures lived and died, their remains accumulated on the sea floor. Coral reefs grew and gradually compressed into dense layers of limestone.
Ooh.
The Gulf continued to expand and its waters deepen. As this happened, a different kind of limestone formed from the accumulation of microorganisms on the sea floor, a material widely used for sidewalk art and on school blackboards, chalk. After the Cretaceous period...
Is that all what limestone is used for? I thought like limestone was like used for like other things. Like, am I wrong?
Sea levels dropped and the Mississippi River began flowing toward the Gulf.
Where?
On its downhill journey across the continent, the river picked up and carried massive amounts of sand, silt, and clay to create a growing delta made of material from the far reaches of the North American continent. Today, tall buildings in New Orleans sit on top of this massive accumulation of Mississippi River sediment, and far below them the layers of chalk, limestone, and salt. The many
Those just came from the people in general.
layers of sand, silt, and clay are as much as 6 miles deep and form a foundation for today's Mississippi River Delta. Their unimaginable weight has produced some extraordinary effects. Under extreme pressure and with heat from Earth's core, long dead sea creatures and aquatic plants were gradually transformed into oil and natural gas. The tremendous
There's money in them hills.
weight and pressure also affected the deeply buried salt layer, which is less dense than the material above it. Behaving much like liquids do when placed under great pressure, in places, salt would rise upward in formations called salt domes. As the domes made their way toward the surface, fault lines formed. The heavier sediments above and around the dome slid downward.
Why is like everything phallic? Just shit getting hard and getting pushed around by other harder materials. Just a lot of poking happening in the Gulf.
Oil and gas accumulated in pockets formed along the fault lines. These reservoirs of oil and
See right there, there's the money. There's the money, little people. That's what we gotta go for.
gas are tapped today by wells located throughout the delta.
Mm-hmm.
Underground movements of salt still happen today. Sometimes they produce spectacular results, like suddenly appearing sinkholes big enough to swallow large trees.
Oh, shit.
Many of the processes that gave birth to the Gulf and built the foundation for today's river delta are still at work. Ever more sand, silt, and clay, deposited by the Mississippi at its mouth, has been shaped and shaped again by powerful floods and storms, and by the relentless movement of the river's currents and twisting channels.
Oh, shit. Fuck yeah. Thank you. Thank you. The Ancient Origin of the Gulf of Mexico, CG Multimedia. Thank you. That was very good. Very good. Very dandy. I do have to say so myself. So, we kind of hit up the geology of it, got the shipwrecks, 2006 earthquake, maritime explosion, oil spill, Deepwater Horizon, minor oil spills. Man, we got a lot to talk about on all these little wonderful parts here. Pre-Columbian times. As early as the Maya. Let's dive into the wonderful stuff here. Because I feel like we got into the geology of this stuff, right? And so I think we can handle that part. Let's get into the actual history here. So pre-Columbian colonizer. As early as Maya civilization, the Gulf of Mexico was used as a trade route off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. Where's that? Thank you. And present-day Veracruz. Although the Spanish voyage of Christopher Columbus was credited with the discovery of the Americas, he accidentally discovered it. The jackass just drove his boat into a plot of land and then fucked up all the locals there by Europeans, colonizers. The ships in his 4 voyages never reached the Gulf of Mexico. Instead, the Spanish sailed into the Caribbean around Cuba, and the Hispaniola. Oh, the Cuba and Hispaniola. The first alleged European exploration of the Gulf of Mexico was by Amerigo Vespucci in 1497. Columbus is supported to have followed the coastal landmass of the Central America before returning to the Atlantic Ocean via the Straits of Florida between Florida and Cuba. However, this first voyage of 1497 is widely disputed, as many historians doubt that it took place as described. In his letters, Vespucci described his trip as once Juan de la Cosa. Juan de la Cosa was a Castilian navigator and cartographer known for designing the earliest European world map that incorporated the territories of the Americas that were discovered in the 15th century. And once that guy returned to Spain, a famous world map depicting Cuba as an island was produced. In 1506, Hernan Cortez took part in the conquest of Hispaniola and Cuba, receiving large estate of land and indigenous slaves for his effort. Wonderful! In 1510, he accompanied Diego Velázquez de Galer in aid of the governor of Hispaniola. In his expedition to conquer Cuba in 1518, Velázquez put him in command of an expedition to explore and secure interior of Mexico and for colonization. Yay. Yay. In 1517, Francisco Hernandez de Cordoba discovered the Yucatan Peninsula. This was the first European encounter with the advanced civilization in the Americas, which, with solidly built buildings and a complex social organization, which they recognize has been comparable to those of the Old World. Old World. Why did I say odd? Old. They also here we go. There we are. Sorry, I had to change something here real quick. Sorry. Build solid complex, recognized as being comparable to those of the old world. They also had a reason to expect that this new land would have gold. Wow. Wonderful. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot. I am so sorry. I just got reminded. We had two wonderful, beautiful people decide to follow us today, reaching over our little bit of a platform here. I'm super excited. Give a nice little hallelujah to Claire Burr and King Slime Mom. Thank you. And thank you both for the follow. We just got reached over to 30 followers. We're almost hitting that 50, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. But no, genuinely, thank you. That was just... I love you. Back to the lesson, though. So. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. So, in the second, yeah. So yeah, basically they wanted this place for gold. All of this encouraged two further expeditions in the first 1518 under the command of Juan de Guagalva. That is an ugly ass photo of him. And the second in 1590 under the command of Hernan Cortez, which led to Spanish exploration, military invasion, and ultimately settlement and colonization known as the Conquest of Mexico. Oh, God. Hernandez did not live to see the continuation of his work. He died in 1517, the years of his expedition, as a result of the injuries and the extreme thirst suffered during the voyage, and the disappointed in the knowledge that Diego Velázquez had given precedence to Grijalva as captain of the next expedition to Yucatan. In 1523, Angel de Valafan sailed towards Mexico City, but was shipwrecked en route along the coast of Padre Island, Texas, in 1554. When word of the disaster reached Mexico City, the viceroy... I think, hold on, let's stick with this part, because I feel like that's a very pinnacle moment, at least like with the native people of Mexico and a lot of just the native people around the Gulf Coast being absolutely slaughtered. I wonder. Gulf of Mexico. Pre-Columbian. History explained in 10 minutes. Oh, the history of Florida, no. I kind of want to lay 6 facts about the...
Hey, Cypher here.
I'm gonna play this entire... Let's see, California, nah. Oh, whoop. Let's see. History of Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico, a maritime history presented. Ooh, that's an hour. Oh, I don't know about that one, y'all. The underwater forest. Dead Zone, Mexican-American War, explained in 16 minutes. Mexican 16 War. Nope, that ain't doing it. That ain't doing it for me. Sunken history, the shipwrecks of the Gulf. Honestly, we could just go right into that because I think, what was it, like we're getting the shipwrecks here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Screw it, let's just get right into it. Oh boy. Coastal Bends, temporary exhibits, sunken history, shipwrecks of the Gulf. Learn about the ships and their ill-fated journeys sailing the Gulf of Mexico. See the artifacts, photographs, and drawings from the wreckage. Explore Victoria, Texas. All right, let's see what's up. All right. Ooh. Woo! All right, brother, let's see what the hell. Let's hear history.
My name is Elizabeth Nucer, and I am the Exhibits and Collections Manager here at the Museum of the Coastal Bend. And here at the museum, we focus on really early Texas history, looking at prehistory with the Native Americans, specifically the Karankawas, leading up to the LaBelle Expedition, Fort St. Louis, and then the Presidio La Bahia, and then finishing off with kind of the lasting Spanish effects with local ranching in the area. Our new exhibit, Sunken History, starts as early as...
So just a lot of colonizing and killing people, am I right? Yeah.
1554. Sunken History, Shipwrecks of the Gulf, which features different shipwrecks throughout the Gulf of Mexico, focusing on those along the Texas coast, and goes all the way up to World War II. And we do focus on some of the major shipwrecks that happened along the Texas coast, specifically that of the LaBelle from the LaSalle expedition. And we have artifacts from that expedition here within the temporary exhibit and also in our permanent exhibit space. So LaSalle is from France, and he went on an expedition to try to find the mouth of the Mississippi to open another trade route for France. Since at this time period, we're looking at the late 1600s, they had already been established in the Canadian territory. So they were wanting to expand their trade routes and kind of impose on the Spanish.
You want... Hello, Spaniards. You thought you can have taxation? You be coming over here, taxing people in the Americas. Let me tell you this, they not aware. No. We shall take people from the delta of the Mississippi, and we will tax them. Yes.
Since the Spanish were active in this area. So LaSalle set out on an expedition to find the mouth of the Mississippi and ultimately ended up missing it by about 600 miles. And
show me your mouth, Mississippi.
instead landed in Matagorda Bay.
People were fucking stupid back then. Oh my gosh. Columbus? Not like he saw India. This French guy trying to go into the mouth of the Mississippi. Why didn't they just use GPS? Am I right? Fucking the French. Jeez. Just use your iPhone, dude. What the fuck?
So the La Belle was the last ship from the La Salle expedition, and it was the only ship that made it through Matagorda Bay. And it ultimately wrecked during a storm. And the unfortunate part about it is it wrecked while La Salle was off on another expedition to try to find the Mississippi. And this time while he was gone, he ordered that all of Fort St. Louis's supplies be put back on the La Belle and anchored out in the middle of the bay. And so when the La Belle wrecked during the storm, Fort St. Louis lost all of its remaining supplies.
So, Captain, I have some unfortunate news. Yes? Go ahead, tell me what is the news that you have for me? Oh, Mr. Copale. How is this ship that I told you to just go put in the one place and anchor it in the middle of the bay? So you know, no one touches it. It'll be almost completely impossible. Wait. So, wait. Fuck. Okay. Well, Captain, you see the boat did a little bit of a wreck. You tell me. You look me dead in my eyes, and you tell me that the boat got into a wreck. Yeah. Oui, sir. It is anchored. How the hell do you tell me? How the hell does that? How do you wreck a boat, an anchored boat? Please tell me. This is confusing to me. Huh? Oui? Yes, Captain. But a storm. You tell me a storm? Yes, storm. Oh, don't talk about my boat. Out of all the fucking times. I mean, Gulf has hurricanes, I guess. So yeah, probably fucked up the boat. It's just funny to me that thinking that a fucking, it's like you park a car, and the tornado gets it, and it's like fuck. Well, you planned everything. It's just fucking, the boat just fucking gets right out into the fucking horizon by a hurricane, or at least a storm. At least that's what they're telling us. That's wild.
So the SS Mary was a steamship that was very active in Texas maritime commerce. The SS Mary actually wrecked in Aransas Pass. And this is tubing from its engine surface condenser. And these are lead bullets that were recovered from the excavation site. And then this one bullet in particular, they took apart and the gunpowder was still found intact within the bullet. The exhibit starts as early as 1554 and goes all the way up to World War II. And we welcome everyone to come out to the Museum of the Coastal Bend and see our permanent exhibit where Texas history began, and also our temporary exhibit, Sunken History, Shipwrecks of the Gulf. An exhibit filled with shipwrecks, horrendous weather, old technology, adventure, weaponry, explosions, marine warfare, submarine warfare, and pirates.
Man, I have such like a 50-50 relationship with just museums in general now. Cause I genuinely thought that, like, you know, museums are cool. Of course, like, you know, you have the children museums and shit like that. But then, like, beyond that, like, man, there's some museums that just don't cut it. It's like, I don't know, add some fucking color or something. Like, dude, I don't know, throw some glitter on it. Just like, or something. Make it shiny. Right? I mean, am I wrong? Like, I'm just saying. Let's see here. So let's dive a little bit deeper. I want to no, let's look into the more historical pieces of the history. Sailed Margo Vespucci. Margo Vespucci. Didn't Drunk History did something like this? I think a Drunk History covered like this. I think like Johnny Knoxville did one. Johnny Knoxville discovers Florida. That may have been. What? Don't miss this. Drunk History every Friday. Drunk History, golf. Yeah, Gulf Coast. Full on dance. Well, slaves, base. U.S. Marshal, Civil War. Featuring. I wonder if they had something here based on the Gulf Coast. Because, I mean, the Gulf Coast is deep as hell. No. Geology of the Gulf Mexico. Of the Mexico. See, I like that. That one was good. Why didn't, like, is there other cool shit? Geology of the Gulf. Ooh.
The Gulf
Oh, okay. Hold up.
of Mexico is a very unique place geologically.
How so? Huh? Oh, what? Are you some expert or something? Huh? What, Mr. Let me move the caption here, huh? Mr. Dr. Charles Fisher? Huh? From Pennsylvania? You're not even from the coast, dude. Like, what kind of expertise are you trying to bring to this here little shindig, huh? Huh? What you got there, bud? Why don't you lay down on the line, see what you got?
It is home to the largest.
Oh, well, because you got a fucking zoology book, huh? You know this shit? All right, I want to let him speak.
Very unique place geologically. It is home to the largest oil and gas producing region in the continental United States. And it is also one of the most complex continental shelves in the world. So in the Gulf of Mexico, the northern Gulf of Mexico, we have oil and gas bearing shales with a salt sheet underneath them and a layer of sediment on top. And as these different geological forces interact, we get
Looks like turds. And as these little things interact and these different geological
cracks in the oil-bearing shale, and we get natural seepage coming out of the seafloor. So at thousands of different places in the Gulf of Mexico, oil and gas is naturally seeping very slowly from the seafloor. And in those environments, we have...
Oh, so the Gulf has been seeping oil this whole time, guys. So I mean, we're fine, right? I mean, like it's already happened. We're just helping it along. Duh.
We have some very special communities of animals. And among the things we've discovered over the years is that there are mussels that get all of their carbon and energy from methane gas. They can live entirely from methane gas. There's tube worms, giant tube worms, meters long, no mouth, no gut, no anus. That get...
That's a little shrimpy. Are these these are not fucking tube worms. Get the fuck out of here.
all of their energy from hydrogen sulfide.
What are those?
A gas that's normally toxic, but it's made by bacteria living off oil in the sediments. Now, another thing that came out of our studies in the Gulf of Mexico is that the same bacteria that are eating the oil and eating the methane, as a byproduct of that, they're creating the chemical environment where rocks form. And at places where you have oil seeps, you have carbonates form. Now, most of the Gulf of Mexico is mud, soft bottom. So areas where there's rocks are areas where special communities can move in, and corals love rocks. So we've found that, in fact,
Coral are gentrifying the rock area. At least how I'm picturing it. Damn. The seabed just can't get no love.
most of the deep corals in the Gulf of Mexico are associated with oil seeps.
Oh, that's pretty.
We found that from east to west across the Gulf, they're actually quite similar within a depth range. But we see very different communities as we change in depths.
Dude, aliens fucking exist. Aliens fucking exist. Like, you mean to tell me that this shit, like we get so much inspiration from movies on just all this shit that's underneath, and it's just
The biggest cutoff between the communities occurs between 800 and 1,000 meters. Above 800, we have one type of coral community, predominantly a coral known as Lophelia pertusa, which is a reef-building coral that's famous all over the world for the structure and habitat it provides for fish.
Ooh, shark.
Which you don't
What
find
the fuck
Lophelia
was
deeper
that?
than 800 meters. Some other hard corals cut in, and then deeper than about 1,400 meters, we find all kinds of soft corals, bamboo corals, and black corals dominating the communities. Now, similar to that, the seep communities change. Now, they change in a different way. Because shallow and deep, we still have mussels with the symbionts. We still have tube worms, but with different species. So we get an almost complete species changeover at about a
Oh my god. Oh, the oil. Never mind. Get the oil out of the ground if it's fucking creating that shit. Hell no. Oh my gosh. It's all them hurricanes and shit. I wonder, like, how much, like, do the hurricanes affect the Gulf of Mexico? Oh my gosh.
1,000 meters. And some additional new species of tube worms and mussels that come in at about 2,000 meters. So similar types of communities, but completely different
This dude gets off on this stuff.
players and all new species, many of which were unknown to science until we started working at these sites. All of the research we do is at depths greater than is practical to do with scuba. So when we go to sea, we use large ships and some kind of a deep submergence facility. We'll use either remotely operated vehicles or an ROV or a manned submersible.
They're using my hole for what? The fuck? Damn.
Submarine. On our next expedition, we'll be using the Jason 2 ROV from Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, which is a finely tuned, remotely operated vehicle built especially for science. Now, in addition to all of the tools they'll bring with them, which will include precision navigation capability, high-definition video cameras, and digital still cameras, we'll take a lot of our own specialized equipment that we've built to work on the seafloor.
I'm surprised there's not like a Twitch stream of this. Just like a 24-hour underwater, like someone throws like a little robot or something.
And this will include devices that we've used to put bands on tube worms so we could measure their age over years, staining devices that we've used to get yearly growth rates in tube worms, specialized collection devices, including one that we nicknamed the Bushmaster, which is a giant hydraulically actuated net that we can put around an intact coral community or tube worm community and collect it for analysis in the lab. Our project in October is a part of a regularly scheduled project, and this project was designed to explore and discover new deepwater coral sites in the Gulf of Mexico, characterize those sites, but also conduct experiments that'll let us understand how the corals work and why they are where they are. So this will be our main goal, will in fact be to study the deep water coral communities of the Gulf of Mexico. But in light of the recent Deepwater Horizon disaster, we'll be supplementing that work with some additional explorations for sites in closer to the spill, and we'll be revisiting some of the sites we know very well to see if we can detect any changes over the last year since we were there last.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that you're probably got delayed a little bit recently. So this was during the BP or oil spill, I guess.
Now, we don't really know what we're going to find when we go back out to visit these communities. We don't know if they will be impacted by the Deepwater Horizon disaster, but they certainly may have. Even though some are adapted to oil, none of them are adapted to dispersant. And if there was a heavy exposure to dispersant in any of the communities, this could have some very serious toxic effects. If in fact the dispersed oil forms small globules, this could foul feeding appendages.
Oh,
it
God.
could foul respiratory appendages and have a very bad effect on these communities. Similarly, if in areas a deep water plume of oil and dispersant stayed cohesive, if it stayed intact, oxygen in that area can be depleted, and all of these animals require oxygen.
Fucking love
So
octopuses.
certainly we don't know that
Octopi?
we'll see an
Yeah.
impact, but there are a variety of scenarios where we could, and the only way to find out is to go down and take a look.
You have fun with that one, Jack. That sucks. I bet they really wanted to try to push their thing, and now, of course, this second oil spill just fucked it all up. Okay. Concerned about the Gulf of Mexico.
Our story of water quality and agriculture begins high above the region known as the Mississippi Watershed Basin.
How are you alive out there? Do you have your sunscreen on? I hope you do. Grant, thank you. Just, you have a wonderful voice.
A system of creeks and rivers, like the Platte, that drain into the Mississippi River. It's like a giant bathtub that covers the middle of our nation. And to figure out what's in the bathtub besides water, you need to look at where it all drains, the Gulf of Mexico.
Probably a lot of doo-doo.
When scientists look at the water in the Gulf, they find an overload of two chemicals, nitrogen and phosphorus. These chemicals grow huge plumes of algae that suck oxygen from the water and block sunlight, causing a hypoxic zone, an area that won't support any fish or wildlife. This area is called the dead zone, and it's estimated to cost the seafood and tourism industries $82 million every year. And despite federal and state task forces, the dead zone is as large as ever, over 5,000 square miles in recent years, and well over the targeted size first set by the EPA in 2001. According to the EPA, farms contribute more than 70% of the nutrients causing the Gulf dead zone.
Those chemicals and the sediment will wind up in the Atchafalaya Basin, in the Gulf of Mexico. So it just kind of shows that we need to kind of broaden our overall geographic scope, how we think about chemicals and how they move around.
We have to think a little bit.
But I want my corn to taste real good. I want my beans to grow 2 times as big. All right? Y'all just can't stop me. I need to send my airplane down and coast my wonderful field with the succulent nutrients to get my tomatoes good and ripe. I want to be able to take my tomato and, I want a whole good tomato. You trying to limit my fucking tomato? I want my corn to be big. I want a big old corn. You want to stop my corn there? My ginger fellow, Them scientists, they want to keep us from eating good. That's how we do it here, brother. We eat good with that sweet nitrogen.
A bit more than just yield today. We need to think about
And how they move around.
We have to think a little bit more than just yield today. We need to think about the health of the farm. We need to think about the viability of our ag community.
Hot damn, y'all. Man, the Gulf of Mexico is just a big ass mess. Gulf of Mexico tsunami.
Every summer, something called the dead zone forms in the Gulf of Mexico. It ranges from the size of Delaware to the size of New Jersey.
Oh, shit!
It's a massive patch of water that doesn't have enough oxygen for sea.
Okay. All right, let's dive deeper into this Gulf of Mexico dead zone here. Grist. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for letting me use your video. Here's a like. I love you. This channel is going to get big. Don't give up. Don't give up, Grit. Don't give up, Grist. Never give up. I need your shit to react to. I need to learn.
Every summer, something called the dead zone forms in the Gulf of Mexico. It ranges from the size of Delaware to the size of New Jersey. It's a massive patch of water that doesn't have enough oxygen for sea creatures to survive. If you're a crab or a fish or a baby shrimp caught in the dead zone, you die. The problem starts thousands of miles away. When fertilizer gets applied to farmland, some washes into the Mississippi River where it will fertilize algae. Look at what happens when you add fertilizer to ocean or lake water. You can see the algae loves the fertilizer. It all blooms at once, then dies, then decomposes. And in that process, it sucks all the oxygen out of the water. That is bad news for those dear, sweet baby shrimp. No, seriously, it's really bad. For them and for the people who depend on them for a living. Fertilizer pollution causes problems even before it gets.
You gotta protect the shrimp, Duck 2. That's what's going down. These damn farmers, they want big corn in their mouths and they're killing up all our baby shrimp. Can't make jumbo.
To the ocean. It can contaminate drinking water or turn into suffocating smog. And it's a big contributor to global warming. The federal government has spent billions of dollars a year to fix the problem, but nothing's changed. The thing that makes this problem so tricky is that we can't live without the pollutant that's causing these dead zones. Without nitrogen and phosphorus, we can't grow food. Before industrial fertilizer, the naturally occurring fertilizer, known by its technical name, poop, determined a farmer's yields and thus their wealth. If you were a French farm girl back then, your dowry was calculated not in acres of land, but instead in the pounds of manure that your animals could provide. Wars were fought over nitrogen-rich guano. Most scientists say that for all the problems with too much fertilizer, a world with too little would be even worse.
Yeah, because during colonial times, they just wanted more and more research to push and pull. And, well, these motherfuckers decided to go through other people's land, take up guano, and push all that shit out, and it turned into a whole fuckfest for land and farming, and now it's biting us in the ass.
Bloodier, hungrier, and shit.
Oh my God.
The trick with fertilizer is to maximize crop growth and minimize algae growth. But how? Well, the most promising solution is simple. Just planting stuff on open soil. It's called a cover crop. Most farms in the US look like this in the winter and spring. A lot of rain tends to fall during those seasons, and all that water washes away nutrients and soil.
Damn.
With cover crops, it's more like this. Cover the soil with ryegrass, clover, or really any kind of plant, and they will provide a buffer, slowing down raindrops, sucking up nutrients, and holding the soil in place with their roots. What's really exciting about cover crops is that they may provide a win-win for farmers, trapping nutrients to improve soil, while also reducing pollution and flooding downstream. And so, cover crops are booming. The number of acres planted with them increased 50% in recent years. But even after all that growth, cover crops only cover this much of American farmland.
Damn.
So what if it looked more like this? That's what happened in one small watershed in northern Indiana. The results were dramatic. In the spring, when the cover crops were growing, the fields turned into sponges. The amount of water flowing off the fields fell by half.
Yeah. Do you like?
Lowering both nitrates and phosphorus. But it took a lot of time and money to cover the equivalent of 600 football fields. Imagine expanding that to the entire Mississippi River basin. it's likely that 70% of land won't be filled with cover crops without some major prodding.
That's
We'll probably
law.
need regulations, enforcement, and incentives, as well as new technology. You know, the kind of tools we've used to rein in every other pollution problem we've conquered.
Nah, brother. They're gonna make you try. This grass is gonna filter out the good nutrients. That's what's gonna happen. No, we won't. The government's gonna make us put this incentive on your farmland. But no, it's gonna limit it. Your corn is not gonna be that big, juicy, wet, throbbing corn that you like. That's what's gonna happen. Those beautiful, ripe, juicy tomatoes that you like to squeeze between your mouth, it will not happen, brother. Because the devil is going to be on those grass. You know what's also going to filter out? Good citizens. I'll tell you what, brother. They try to mess with our land. Watch, bet money. They're going to try to put like an incentive. Like they're going to actually try to put an incentive for green new deals. Be like, no, this is going to help. This is going to help farmers. You guys are going to be able to have your throbbing wet corn and stuff. And it's just like, really? All right. It's going to create jobs too. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm down for it. Yes. Like, and it will also help the environment. Who would? No, hell no. Those demis they're going to put something in the grass. It's going to filter. So we were already putting the nitrogen in. They're going to put the gay in the grass. And then we're going to eat the gay corn. And I ain't eating no gay corn, brother. That's what's going to happen. Because of capitalistic means. We want to poison the water hole. That is the Gulf of Mexico.
As well as new technology. You know, the kind of tools we've used to rein in every other pollution problem we've conquered. Until we get there, growing food is just going to come with a cost. Those baby shrimp and the entire Gulf Coast.
I'm Nathaniel Johnson from GRIST. If you want to know more about this problem and how to fix it, we are publishing an entire series with the Center for Public Integrity and the World. It covers poisonous algae, political drama, everything you need for the perfect evening, and the link to the series page is in the description.
Every summer, something...
Hey, thank you, Chris. I like him. Give that fella a like and a follow. Check out the whole series here. We'll take a quick gander at it, and then we're gonna dive. Then we're gonna check out a little bit more. How do we fix America's fertilizer problem? This is kind of pushing more away from the Gulf issue here. Indians destroying the Gulf of Mexico. Well, we were just sawing that part. Okay, I want to dive deeper into this because this looks fun. I might do that on like a personal level. But now I want to see hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico. Hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Oh, no. It's an hour. I don't have a fucking hour. Give me like a sweet, sexy 10-minute animated thing. How about that? There's a super typhoon. Oh, Shell, go fuck yourself. Our oil fields are amazing. It bears down Gulf Coast. Explain. I want somebody to explain to me. What are hurricanes and how do they form? The Gulf Stream explained? Oh, Kyrgyzstan. Yay! Kyrgyzstan. Oh, Kyrgyzstan. I'm butchering your name, but oh my gosh, I love you. All right, everybody, let's watch it. Oh, mama. Are you all right? My bad, y'all.
The ocean conveyor belt and the Gulf Stream. Ocean currents have a direct influence on our lives. They determine our weather, our climate, and much more.
Woo!
The ocean currents and wind systems transport heat from the equator to the poles and operate like a large engine for the global climate. In the oceans, there are numerous currents. The so-called ocean conveyor belt is very important for our climate. This term describes a combination of currents that result in 4 of the 5 global oceans exchanging water with each other. They form a worldwide circulation system. The conveyor belt is also called the thermohaline circulation.
Say that one more time, brother.
The conveyor belt is also called the thermohaline circulation, with thermo referring to the temperature and haline to the salt content of the water. Both determine the density of the water. While the masses of water may be moved in part by wind, primarily the different densities of the global oceans are responsible for their movement. Warm water has a lower density and rises, while cold water sinks. The water's density also increases with a higher salt content. At the equator, the heat from the sun is especially strong, resulting in a lot of evaporation and thus a rise in the water's salt content.
So
that is where the Gulf Stream begins. The Gulf Stream is very important for the European climate. Its length of 10,000 kilometers makes it one of the largest and fastest ocean currents on Earth, and it's very warm. At roughly 2 meters a second, it brings up to 100 million cubic meters of water per second towards Europe. A constantly blowing wind, the southeast trade wind, drives warm surface water to the northwest into the Gulf of Mexico, where it heats up to 30 degrees Celsius. The turning of the Earth and the west winds then direct the Gulf Stream towards Europe and split it up.
Boom.
One part flows south, another east to the Canary Current, and a third part flows north, where it releases a lot of heat into the atmosphere.
Fucking, that's how we do it. That's how America does it. We just grab that fucking current. I'm telling you, fucking. And you just toss that heat right back over to Europe just to remind them. Just to remind them of what's up. That's how you do it. Hey, motherfucker, huh? You looking cold over there. Let me just right over there. Send that heat stream right back over to them.
As the North Atlantic Current. The water becomes colder there. Its salt content and density rise on account of evaporation, and it drops down between Greenland, Norway, and Iceland. There we also find the largest waterfall on Earth, the so-called chimneys, roughly 15-kilometer wide pillars with water falling up to 4,000 meters. 17 million cubic meters of water per second, or roughly 15 times more water than is carried by all the rivers in the world.
Oh, fuck.
This creates a strong maelstrom which constantly pulls in new water and is the reason that the Gulf Stream moves towards Europe. Countless species use the Gulf Stream as a means of transport on their trips from the Caribbean to northern areas. But it doesn't just bring us animals. An enormous quantity of warm air also comes with it. In order to reduce the same heat which it brings to the shores of Europe, we would need 1 million nuclear power plants. That's why we also call the Gulf Stream a heat pump. Without it, the temperature would be significantly colder here, at least 5 to 10 degrees. Instead of lush fields, we would have long winters and sparse ice-covered landscapes.
You're welcome, Europe. You're welcome.
In Europe. In the last few years, scientists and pundits in the media have repeatedly expressed the fear that the Gulf Stream could come to a standstill due to climate change. Because if the polar caps actually melt, the salt content in the water off Greenland would fall, as would its density. The North Atlantic Current would no longer be heavy enough, and so it wouldn't sink as usual. In the worst case, that would bring the Gulf Stream, our heat pump, to a stop.
Yeah.
Some climate experts also assume that climate change could compensate for this effect. We know that it can be normal for the climate to change by looking at the development of the Earth over the last few million years.
See, that's what I like to tell people, is that actually the human involvement with climate change is actually completely impossible, because the human, because the Earth goes through its natural cycles, kind of like a woman would. All right. Fucking debate jackasses out there would definitely use that part of just like, it's part of the Earth's natural cycle.
There are ice ages and warm periods. In the last ice age, a gigantic flood of melting water crippled the heat-bringing North Atlantic current, covering the northern hemisphere in ice. Scientists have different views on the impact that climate change will have on the global ocean conveyor belt. But one thing is clear: when the climate changes, then the complex system of ocean currents and winds, which has remained fairly stable since the last ice age, will change in ways that we don't yet understand.
Ah. Thank you, Steve, and your beautiful voice and your narrations. But yeah, there you go. There's another thing that the Gulf does for people. It provides oil. It provides heat. It is a receiver for many toxins from the America. Fuck, we are just fucking up the Gulf of Mexico. Stop that. Oop. Why? But again, like, I guess like hurricane. I may have to just like Google this. Let's just get right into this. Hurricanes impact on the Gulf Coast. Hurricane effects on the Gulf. The Gulf of Mexico. Let's see, tropical storm impact. Statistics, hurricanes, Katrina. I'm just trying to. Let's see here. Gulf of Mexico and hurricanes. And hurricanes. That's a hurricane center. Tropical storms could be developing in the Gulf of Mexico, dude. Man, there really isn't. Hurricanes and Gulf of Mexico. Okay, I'm just going to start typing stuff here. The Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico, bro. I think we would I didn't think we would survive the storm. Back in those days, Hurricane Katrina. Potential tropical storm in from Gulf of Mexico next week. Not really here for Sally. Animation. Hurricanes. Let's do it. Natural Geographic. I should be able to get away with this with reacting to this. Who knows?
Cyclone, typhoon,
Oh boy.
hurricane.
Oh no.
All of these names are used around the world to describe the most powerful storm known to man.
That's a tornado. Oh my gosh.
Hurricanes are unpredictable.
Yeah.
But scientists have a thorough understanding of how hurricanes form and sustain their power. In the Atlantic Ocean, hurricane season peaks during the late summer months when tropical waters are the warmest. Hurricanes form from a cluster of thunderstorms that suck up the warm, moist air and move it high into Earth's atmosphere. The warm air is then converted into energy that powers the hurricane's circular winds. These winds spin around a low-pressure center called the eye, which can provide a 20 to 30-mile radius of eerie calm. Encircling it is the eye wall.
The eye wall. I'll never forget, actually. And shout out to fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender. I never the first time I ever learned about hurricanes was actually through them. Was the fact of like the whole eye of the storm. You're good if you reach the eye of the storm. Did not know that. It's kind of dope.
A towering ring of clouds with some of the fastest wind speeds of the hurricane. Surrounding the eye wall are curved bands of clouds, the rain bands, often tens of miles wide, releasing sheets of rain and sometimes tornadoes.
Yeah.
When a tropical storm's winds reach at least 74 miles per hour, it becomes a hurricane.
Yeah, I did.
The hurricane then receives a category ranking of 1 to 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, based on
hurricane
its
was
wind
a
speed and
5?
potential damage.
Katrina was a 5.
But wind speed isn't always the most dangerous component when hurricanes come near land.
It's that flooding.
It's storm surge. Storm surge is caused when winds from an approaching hurricane push water towards the shoreline up to 20 feet above sea level and can extend 100 miles.
It's not just a tsunami, a mini
90%
tsunami.
of all hurricane deaths are the result of storm surge. While hurricanes can cause mass devastation, just like other natural disasters, they serve a higher purpose within the global ecosystem.
You barely made it with that one guy.
Hurricanes help regulate our climate by moving heat energy from the equator to the poles, keeping the Earth's temperature stable.
Oh, so they're just throwing all that heat
Over
around,
time,
I guess.
science has helped us to better understand hurricanes and predict their paths.
We're gonna fight. This is my jurisdiction as your president. We will fight the terror of the hurricanes. We have been destroyed as a human race. But now we have created the ultimate weapon. We will nuke the hurricane. We have gotten the support from the military, and we are set off to bomb the Gulf Coast. We think the Gulf Coast is hiding these hurricane terrorists that want to terrorize America. So, we decided to destroy the whole Atlantic Ocean. Bingo, baby. One shot. Boom. Basically, we think that the centrifugal force of the area field, of the aerodynamics, of the penetration of the BOB, big oh shit bomb. We're gonna nuke the Atlantic. We're gonna force all the water out. Now, yes, this will flood the East Coast and West Coast of the majority of a lot of the continents, but we think a good nice rain. But to handle the terror of the hurricane, that way we'll be able to center around the base of the Gulf of Mexico and pulverize the enemy. That is what our objective is. Booyah, shaku.
Saving lives through early warning systems and helping us build better infrastructure to protect our cities. The more we study these complex storms, the better we can prepare for them and minimize their impact on human life.
Don't look at them in the eye. You can sense the fear in you. Thank you. Thank you, Natural Geographic, for telling us the propaganda of what the hurricane is capable of. Now, you see here, students, we must be prepared. I will tell you, we will be fucked. We will be fucked up. And that will be no good. Now let's dive back down into the history. Now the geography. Now the 2006 earthquake. On September 10, 2006, the U.S. Geological Survey National Earthquake Information Center reported that the magnitude 6.0 earthquake occurred 250 miles west-southwest of Anne Marie, Florida, around 10:56 a.m. EDT. The quake was reportedly felt from Louisiana to Florida. In the southeastern United States, there were no reports damage or injuries. Items were knocked from shelves and sieges were observed in swimming pools. Or what? The standing wave. Okay. In swimming pools in parts of Florida. The earthquake was described by the USGS as an intraplate earthquake. Intraplate. The term intraplate refers to a variety of earthquake that occurs within the interior tectonic plate. Okay. The largest and most wildly felt record in the past 3 decades in the region. According to September 11, 2006 issue of the Tampa Tribune, earthquake tremors were last felt in Florida in the 1952, recorded in Quincy, 20 miles northwest of Tallahassee. Hot diggity damn. See what's up. Bam, ba, ba, bam, 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 ba, bam, ba. Wait. Let's see why the tsunamis are a real threat. I think this has to do with the earthquake. Real threat exists. A sizable trench located in the Gulf of Mexico, 40 miles over Mississippi. Okay, first of all, we'll see this. We'll see this.
The 2006 Gulf of Mexico earthquake occurred in the eastern Gulf of Mexico on September 10th at 10:56 a.m. Eastern Day along the Gulf Coast and...
Okay, fuck off. All right, well then, I mean, is that it? Like there was like a news story or something? Like, I don't know, news today?
An earthquake hit the Gulf of Mexico about 160 miles southeast of New Orleans. The quake was registered as 4.5 on the Richter scale. National Weather Service said there is no threat of a tsunami as a result.
All right, thank you. Hit by a powerful earthquake. Recent earthquakes on the Gulf of Mexico. Nope. All right, fine then. Let's check out this. Let's check out this tsunami here 8 years ago. Is this the one? Gulf of Mexico? Gulf of Mexico. Here we go. Oh! Here we go. Hold up. Let's dive into this. Tsunamis are a real threat to the U.S. Gulf Coast and eastern seaboard. Global news as it happens. Skywatch Media. All right, tell me what's good.
Skywatch Media News for April the 2nd, 2020.
Yeah.
If you happen to reside along the 1,680-mile span that makes up the U.S. Gulf Coast, then you understand the threats that this region of the country realizes from powerful hurricanes and the storm surges and floods that often accompany them. These forces of nature occur on a regular basis from one year to the next, but we never know just how threatening they are until they unleash their fury. Now it appears that another real threat exists near a sizable trench located in the Gulf of Mexico, about 40 miles off the mouth of the old river delta called the Mississippi Canyon.
Yep.
It is from this specific region that a potential 15-foot wall of water could scurry across southeast Louisiana if a significant underwater landslide were to occur. But unlike the ample hurricane warnings provided residents along the Gulf Coast, a tsunami warning would come with only an hour's notice, not days. Subsurface landslides in the Gulf of Mexico have
That's where it is, right there. With the big waves coming
about once every millennium, and the time frame for the next big event in this region is about to expire. Although an event of this caliber is considered low probability, it is nonetheless very credible. In fact, the National Weather Service has discovered evidence of prior landslides in the Mississippi Canyon that could lead to a significant tsunami. This would be accomplished by the dislodging of canyon material that would then lead to water displacement and the buildup of a large rolling wave that could hit the Gulf Coast within a very short time frame. This computer simulation displays a tremendous landslide along the Mississippi Canyon that generates a wave between 6 and 65 feet across the U.S. Gulf Coast.
Like, it just looks so what? Just like a fucking what?
Buildup of a large rolling wave that could hit the Gulf Coast within a very short time frame.
30 minutes.
This computer simulation displays a tremendous landslide along the Mississippi Canyon that generates a wave between 6 and 65 feet across the U.S. Gulf Coast. A tsunami generated by subsurface dislodgement may not be that noticeable in the open Gulf, but as the wave reaches the shallower waters, the wave will rise up dramatically.
Cowbunga dead. Let's fucking rot some what's dead. I'm ready. Fuck this, dude. I'm getting my board. Let's go. Oh shit. Here it comes. It's building up. Nah, dude, it's just fucking in-wave waves. In-wave waves? What's
this, of course, is just a hypothetical simulation of what could take place. But if an event of this magnitude were to occur, and you happen to reside along the coastline of Louisiana,
fucking
a wall of water as high as 15 feet or larger heading in your direction is certainly a devastating prospect. So what could cause a major tsunami in the Gulf of Mexico? It could be strong seismic activity measuring 7.0 or greater.
Or it could be your mother.
Although earthquakes of this intensity are extremely rare in this area. The eruption of gas bubbles originating from base sediment layers could also play a role. Or a giant subsurface landslide on the edge of the canyon is a strong possibility. These three would be the most likely causes of a tsunami threat in this region.
Yeah, but
if you ever wondered how tsunamis are generated or what forces may be involved in this natural phenomenon, then here is a bit of useful information. Tsunamis, for the most part, are formed as a result of submarine earthquakes, but they can also occur as a result of the eruption or the collapse of coastal volcanoes, or from massive landslides in coastal areas that are most often triggered by earthquakes. The wall of water can be generated by the impact of the landslide as it enters the water, or as the water displaces behind and ahead of a rapidly moving submarine landslide, as shown in this geoscience animated presentation.
Oh, so all that shit just collapsed. And so like a big ass part of that's just going to be happening in the Gulf. Tsunami waves quickly across the ocean as fast as a jet plane. Oh! In open ocean, tsunami waves can be hundreds of kilometers apart but are not very high. But once that bitch reaches the shore, the water draws back further than normal. And that baby gushes. Waves inundate the coast. Water draws back further than normal. That's that wind up. That's what happens. A tsunami comes right in, fuck yeah. Oh, fucks up that shore.
We know that historical data has shown that submarine landslides have occurred in the zones located across the Gulf of Mexico.
Well, come now, don't limit me.
But historical research also concludes that massive volcanic landslides have occurred several times in the Canary Islands off the western coast of Africa. Scientists have warned that similar events may occur in our future. A big landslide in the Canary Islands could generate large tsunami waves both at close and great distances, with the potential to inundate large coastal areas as far away as the eastern seaboard of North America.
Oh shit! Oh my gosh!
Back in the year 1755, a great earthquake believed to be in the range of 8.5 shook Portugal's capital, Lisbon. Not only did it leave the city in ruins, but it generated a tsunami 40 feet in height that surged up the Tagus estuary nearly an hour after the quake.
Damn.
Which was then followed by 2 more waves. In Portugal's coastal city of Lagos, the tsunami reached a height of nearly 100 feet and severely damaged ports in both Spain and Morocco. Eventually, the tsunami wave made its way into the English Channel and then across the Atlantic.
Let's talk about a little back in the day here. That's kind of cool. It's like what was it? It's like dropping a rock in the pond, but like shows you like how fucked up everything was. Damn, so we got 3 points here? Of course, Spain got the major part of it. It's crazy just like how much that, like, just that small part just affects that section here.
Rock falls and avalanches along coastal inlets also have the potential to create regional tsunamis that pose a threat to coastal ecosystems and to populated regions.
Okay, so yeah, this is just going to go on about just the specific parts here, but the Gulf of Mexico, that is kind of fuckety. Oh, damn. There's a whole lot of shit that's happening around that area, and it's just like, it's crazy. Myriad boundary limits. It includes chemosynthesis and pollution. So, let's get into the heart of the matter, and then, of course, we're going to lead ourselves into, well, basically the whole tidbit of this conversation. Why we all need to learn and appreciate the fucking Gulf. Before we do that here. The major environmental threats. Of or to the Gulf are agricultural runoff and oil drilling. There are frequent red tide algae blooms that kill fish and marine mammals and the cause of respiratory problems in the humans and some domestic animals. Then the blooms reach close to shore. This has especially been plaguing the southwest and southern Florida coast from the Florida Keys to the North Pasco County, Florida. When I was actually learning a bit of code over in Florida, this shit happened. We were on the beach and we just we wanted to go there and try to hang out. We were all working pretty hard, so I was hanging out with a few peeps, and turns out, nah. The fucking beach was littered with half bone of fish. Like it was dry, and the smell. It looked like a war zone of fish. It was awful shit. And just like, it was a red, and yeah, that's what it was, a red tide. And it was disgusting. Got my ass burnt to a crisp. And the awful part about it was just like, you could see the water and everything just felt disgusting. It was awful. It was awful. I hated it. You go to these clear beaches and stuff like that, and just like these chemicals are just fucking up the whole shindig of it. And now it's as big as other states, and it's just like, fucking grow grass. That's not that hard. In 1973, the United States... No, hold up. Let me get you guys on here. In 1973, the United States Environmental Protection Agency prohibited the dumping of undiluted chemical waste by manufacturers interested in the Gulf, and the military confessed to similar behavior in the waters of Horn Island. Horn Island is a long, thin barrier island off the Gulf of Mississippi, south of Ocean Springs. It is one of the Mississippi-Alabama barrier islands, a part of the Gulf Islands. The Gulf contains hypoxic dead zone that runs east and west along the Texas-Louisiana coastline. In July 2008, researchers reported that between 1985 and 2008, the area roughly doubled in size and now stretches near Galveston, Texas to near Venice, Louisiana. Holy shit. Okay. Let's get the hell out of me. The Gulf contained, In July of 2008, researchers reported that, the area was roughly doubled in size and known stretch near Galveston, Texas to Venice, Louisiana. Over 80, it's almost close to 9,000 square miles. The largest ever recorded. Poor agricultural practices in northern portion of Gulf, which back in August. Gosh, I wonder how big the dead zone is now today. How big is the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico? Fuck! Oh wait, is lessened. Founding source 2019, it has gotten smaller, at least what we're seeing here, right? Forecast released their summary hypoxic zone size. Gulf of Mexico 3. Scientists are forecasting the Summers Gulf of Mexico hypoxic dead zone, an area load of oxygen, to be approximately 4.8 thousand square miles larger than the long-term average. The annual prediction is based on the models. Okay. Ooh. So it is lessening, but still, it's a fucking problem. Have led tremendous increases of nitrogen and phosphate in neighboring marine. Occurrences of masculinization is a biological development of sex differences, changes that make a male body different from a female body. Oh. Okay. And estrogen suppression from observed as result. In October 2007, studied the Atlantic croaker found a disproportionate sex ratio of 61% males and 39% female in the hypoxic Gulf sites. This was compared to 52% to 48 male ratio found in references showing an impairment of reproduction output for fish population in the abundant. Is this? Are the fish? Are the fish gay? Am I wrong here? No, I'm kidding. That can't be it. Microplastic within semi-enclosed seas like the Gulf have been reported in high concentration in the Gulf's first such study, estimated concentration that rival the highest global reported. There are 27,000 abandoned oil and gas wells beneath the fucking Gulf. These have generally not been checked for potential environmental problems. What? Oh, fuck off then. Are ignored. Hey, because I have ad blockers because I want your guys' fucking shit. Come on. Give me the truth. Well, this is all back in like 2006 type stuff. Is this... the 27... No, can I just... Excuse me, thank you. The AP investigation uncovered... Oh my fucking god, come on. Can I just get something here? It's a news story. Give me something here. Well and rigless wells abandonment solution. The issue to successfully well plugging and rigless well abandonment and the issue of the seals will secure the well long if the abandonment is complete. Okay, so I guess people are trying to solve it. So yeah, does YouTube have anything to say about this? The Associated Press.
It's...
Hold up now, don't say any words. Let me get up on this.
A site that's had devastating consequences. That severed BP well spewing millions of gallons of oil into the Gulf. Yep. Experts, though, say a similar disaster may take place in the same waters, a potential disaster that no one is checking on.
We don't know what's going on out there in our own waters, and that is an unacceptable situation to be in.
The situation revolves around abandoned oil and gas wells that companies leave behind when they're done exploring or producing with them. While these platforms are a visible sign of Gulf oil production, it's what's below the surface that has some scientists concerned. There are 27,000 of them dotting the Gulf, and some date back to...
Holy shit, look at all that. Were the purple ones just extra big ones or something like that?
The 1940s. You're looking at wells that are just onshore, but are being capped like those underwater. Such wells are supposed to be permanently sealed off with hundreds of feet of concrete, but experts fear that the material can erode away or be incorrectly applied, or that some owners might skimp to save money.
Well, the plugs, the big question is how...
Well, we have to make sure that the wonderful oil rig stays intact. Save $1 there, kiddos. All right, it's in the ocean already. We weren't harming any fish in the first place, so might as well just keep it there. No harm, no foul.
How long does cement last and how to take it for it to oxidize? We don't actually know that even for our buildings.
Nor do we know exactly how many abandoned wells are leaking and how much oil is getting into the water. Companies have been tracking oil spills for some time. You can see them here in this satellite image. But most of these are presumed to be from natural leaks that occur all the time in the Gulf and not from abandoned wells. But experts say that doesn't mean the wells aren't seeping.
The cement that you have in the casing, it could shrink, it could age, and if you're not using a proper type of cement, it could crack, and so it could become a weak point.
One problem is no one, neither the government nor the oil companies, routinely inspects abandoned wells.
The ideal thing would be to have a separate independent group that are professional in doing this thing.
Oh, you mean like... Wait. Is he talking about these multi-billion-dollar companies to be regulated? No. No. That's impossible. You dare try to defy the corporations trying to regulate them through trying to nab your hook into the capitalist fish. Good luck. Hold on tight to your pole, buddy. Oh boy. And this shit's back in 2010.
Back in 1994, the General Accounting Office warned that unseen leaks from abandoned wells hold the potential to cause environmental disaster. However, experts say that disaster probably won't appear like the BP well that's gushing into the Gulf, but rather in small slicks that over time could have the same effect. Mike Gracia, The Associated Press.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what, we're just fucking the Gulf and seeping what we can get out of it. It's crazy shit. It's crazy fucking shit. Let's look at these let's look at the fucking highlight reel of these oil spills, and then we'll cap it, and we'll cap it on the most recent one, okay? So, the Atox 1 explosion oil spill in June 1979, the Atox oil platform in the Bay of Campeche suffered a blowout, leading to a catastrophic explosion, which resulted in a massive oil spill that continued for 9 months before the well finally capped. This was ranked as the largest oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico until the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010. And then, of course, BP fucking put their fucking name on it. I don't give a shit. Deepwater Horizon explosion. Deepwater Horizon oil spill. In April 10th, 2010, the year of our Lord, the Deepwater Horizon. Hold up, let's throw some fucking beautiful music onto this. All right. So, on April 20th, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon oil platform, located in the Mississippi Canyon, about 40 miles off the Louisiana coast, suffered a catastrophic explosion. It sank a day and a half later. It sank a day and a half later and was in the process of being sealed with cement for temporary abandonment to avoid environmental problems. I bet it was. Although initial reports indicated that relatively little oil had leaked, by April 24th, it was claimed by BP that approximately 1,000 barrels of oil per day were issuing from the wellhead about 1 mile below the surface on the ocean. So they tried to hide it at first. On April 29th, the U.S. government revealed that approximately 5,000 barrels per day, 5 times the original estimate, were pouring into the Gulf of Wellhead. Resulting oil slick quickly expanded to cover hundreds of square miles of ocean on the surface, posing a serious threat to marine life in adjacent coastal wetlands and to the livelihood of the Gulf Coast shrimpers and fishermen. Coast Guard Rear Admiral Sally Bryce O'Hare stated that the U.S. government will be employing boom skimmers, chemical dispersant, and controlled burns to combat the oil spill. By May 1st, 2010, the oil spill cleanup efforts were underway, but hampered by rough seas and the tea-like consistency of the oil. Cleanup operations resumed after conditions became favorable, and on May 27, 2010, the USGS, which is U.S. Department of Interior Geological Survey, had revised the estimated leak of 5,000 barrels a day to 12,000 to 19,000 barrels per day, an increase from earlier estimate. Fuck me. On July 15, 2010, BP announced that the leak stopped the first time in 88 days. 88 days. Let's just do a little bit of math here, students. 88. Can I somehow share this? I don't think I can. Fuck, we'll just do it on Google Calculator. 88 times 19,000. That is 1.6 million gallons. Water. Like how much? I guess, yeah. How much water? How much water is in the Gulf of Mexico? Quadrillion liters. Quadrillion. The basin contains a volume of roughly liters. Let's see if I can fucking divide this. Let's see this. 1.6 million divided by. I wonder if I can actually do this. Oh shit, look at that. How many zeros are in there? Oh, so 5. Wow, damn. Maybe this is actually a bad statistic, really, to actually try to figure out. The oil spill was like a drop. But the way that affected actual land creatures and stuff like that was fucking devastating. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even doing this justice here. I really am not. At fucking all. Barrels per day. In July 2015, BP reached 18.7 billion settlement with the U.S. government in states Alabama, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, as well as 400 local authorities. To date, BP costs for cleanup, environmental, and economic damages penalties have reached 54 billion. That's nothing to them. A couple other minor oil spills. According to the National Response Center, the oil industry has thousands of minor accidents in Gulf of Mexico every fucking year. Wonderful. Oh, let me see that beautiful source. So back in 2016, Shell oil spills dumped nearly 90 gallons of crude into Gulf. News on event. Created visible 2 mile 13. An oil spill in the Royal Dutch Shell's offshore Brutus platform has released 2,100 barrels of crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico. The leak, roughly 88,000, created a visible 2 mile by 13 mile oil slick in the sea. That's fucking crazy shit. According to the national response, Brutus oil spill on May 12th. Yeah, Shell, 2,100 barrels of oil. Here, I'll just fully read. Yeah. On May 12, 2016, a release of oil from subsea infrastructure on Shell's Brutus oil rig released 2,100 barrels of oil. This leak created a visible 2 by 13 mile oil slick in the sea about 97 miles south of Port Chaun in Louisiana, according to the U.S. Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement. So yeah, no, this is just a normal fucking thing. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the piece de resistance, the shit that's been happening. Let's see what we can pull up here. Explosion. No. There's 10. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, let's just see what's going on here. Looks like hell is boring out. Like the first time I saw this, I thought this was like animated for a movie. I thought I was watching a movie trailer. I thought this shit was like, I thought it was nothing. But I guess like this is a gas pipeline. Fire boils under the Gulf of Mexico. So it's a gas pipeline. Massive explosion. Mexico's state-owned oil company said fire caused by a rupture in the undersea gas pipeline in the Gulf of Mexico is over, but video showing efforts to put out the appears to be an underwater cauldron of fire live on. The fire in the sea was put out at 10 a.m. The following gas leak about 500 meters.
For watching. If you like this video,
Stop that. Rupture gas pipeline. If I'm not like hearing anything of like what's kind of going on, how like nature. I'm just kind of seeing videos on it. Is there not someone like kind of giving a critique on it or something? Or is it just kind of its own thing? Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico, an undersea gas pipeline is ruptured, causing the sea to catch fire. Nobody wants to fucking touch this shit. Alright, we got that. And it's behind a fucking paywall. Lovely. Alrighty, everybody. Let's...
It still boggles the mind to look at it. It may look just like a scene from a disaster movie, but this is real. This video captured today when the ocean caught fire in the Gulf of Mexico just west of the Yucatan Peninsula. Those dramatic images of the ocean aflame quickly going viral on social media. Some people calling it an eye of fire, while others said it looked like the portal to hell opening up.
True.
Next, the Mexican state-run oil company says an underground natural gas pipeline sprung a leak that caused that mid-ocean fire. A number of firefighting boats pumped water onto the fire for nearly 5 hours until it was eventually extinguished. They put out a fire on the ocean. An oil platform nearby not damaged. Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great...
Thanks, Mark. Pipeline broke in Gulf of Mexico, resulting in, checks notes, the ocean being on fire. Y'all been some shit since I was in elementary school. Goddamn. Why did it rupture? I want to know. Like, sparks and inferno in the Gulf. So, a leak in the underwater. Blow this shit up here. Fuck off. Get out of here. Stop that. All right. So, let's slap on some music here and then we'll figure out what the hell is going on. So, a leak in the underwater. So, this just got updated about 2 days ago. A leak in the underwater gas pipe sparked a swirling fire that raged for hours in the Gulf of Mexico on Friday, creating a biblical scene. The drew comparison to Mordor, the volcano hellscape from The Lord of the Rings. Shout out to my boys. Circular inferno informed at 5:15 a.m. after a pipeline about 12 inches deep in diameter leaked across to a statement from Petróleos Mexicanos, or Paxim, Mexico's state-owned oil monopoly, which controls the pipeline. Video footage of the fire showed ships dousing the water onto the flames. The fire was finally extinguished at 10:45 a.m. and valves connected to the pipelines were shut off, according to the statement from the first company. Pemex said that no one was injured and that it would be investigated the cause of the leak, which occurred in an underwater pipeline 150 meters deep from the platform, an offshore oil field in the Bay of Cabachi. It was not immediately clear that the kind of damage the fire might have caused to marine life or how large the fire was. The company officials did not immediately respond to the message requesting comment. Of course they didn't. Angela Carrizales, executive director of Mexico City Security, Energy, and Environmental Agency, said on Twitter the leak did not cause a spill. Okay. The fire was attended to and controlled by the Pemex personnel in accordance to their protocols for emergency responses. He said that in the post in Spanish that quickly elicited skepticism and anger on social media. Part of my ignorance, but how is there a fire at the same time, no spill? Some environmental groups pointed to the fire as a stark example of the risk of relying on fossil fuels as climate change contributes to the fatal waves across the Canada and Pacific Northwest. These are risks we face on a daily basis, which call for change in energy model. Gustav Abugnani, executive director of Greenpeace Mexico, said in a statement. Chris Robinson, senior manager for science incentives at the nonprofit Ocean Conservatives, said that Pemex should investigate whether any infrastructure was compromised. Researchers should be allowed to explore the area to assess any damages of marine life. Yeah. It's gonna be a few years. It's gonna be like a whole nother BP situation where you're gonna be seeing these companies where it's like someone's gonna go in there, a third party or something. They're gonna estimate it's gonna be less, and then the company's gonna investigate. It's gonna be less, and then it's actually gonna be like investigated by. Sorry, did I say third party in the first one? No, like a self-proclaimed researcher or whatever from the company is gonna say it. And then the last one, the third party is going to actually come in there and they're going to say like, oh yeah, no, it turns out this was all fucked. It's going to be like a mini Chernobyl, I bet. Where it's just bad protocol. After President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador of Mexico took office in 2018, he announced his initiative to spend billions of dollars strengthening the dominance of the country's state-owned energy companies. At the same time, he has spurned most new foreign investment in energy, whether it involves oil exploration or private wind farms. That's what he said. He wants to restore Pemex former status as a national oil company that made Mexico self-efficient in energy and provide hundreds of thousands of jobs to well-paying jobs. Hundreds of thousands of well-paying jobs. It's a little bit of conflict of interest there on that one. Not conflict of interest, but a little bit of conflict on that because, of course, Mexico gaining their independence back, and so the hungry oil machine of the U.S. doesn't come in and fucking hopefully doesn't coup them and kill them off, but hopefully it becomes better. On that, I don't know, maybe. And then let's see, but critics have warned Dr. Lopez that he is sinking public money into reviving an industry that is being overtaken by new, cleaner energy. Yeah, you're kind of like, you're missing your point there, bud. Pemex has also been troubled by debt, mismanagement, and corruption. Wow. In 2019, Pemex carried 170 billion in debt, making it the world's most indebted oil company. The following year, the chief of Emilio Lozoya Austin was arrested in southern Spain and charged with tax fraud and bribery. So, you know, the classic American tale of a company fucking up on infrastructure and fucking up the universe and not doing much about it. But Mexico. I'm trying to find something fucking cool to at least end off on a good note here. Let's see. What is this? I don't know. You? What is that? I don't know. Beaches, best beaches. Sunrise. This one. Gulf Islands National Seashore. The treasure. The treasure. So many fun things. Oh yeah, and then you got these rich dudes trying to go in. The Gulf of Mexico is a beautiful, bountiful place of culture. Culture, ecosystem, and ongoing environmental and economic tragedy. We must ensure the immediate needs of Gulf residents. Oh, okay, here, let's end it off on a beautiful note here. On nice conservation, people trying to save this beautiful, beautiful little patch of water. This disaster was the largest oil spill. An estimated 206 million gallons of crude oil and gas were discharged from the BP's damaged wellhead and into our fucking oceans. 1 year later, impact.
BP's Deepwater Horizon oil platform exploded on April 20th, then burned and sank about 50 miles off the coast of Louisiana, resulting in the tragic loss of 11 lives and triggering a crisis in the Gulf of Mexico. The blowout released more than 200 million gallons of crude oil and up to 500,000 tons of methane and other gases, the largest unintentional discharge of hydrocarbons into the ocean in history. Most of the oil from the blowout can no longer be seen on the Gulf water's surface, but the Gulf is suffering an ongoing environmental and economic tragedy. The BP disaster is just the latest insult to the Gulf. From coastal erosion to overfishing to the excessive nutrient runoff that has produced dead zones of depleted oxygen, there are many threats to Gulf fish, wildlife, and the people who depend on a healthy ocean for jobs and business.
But prior to Katrina, I had 5 boats working. I mean, we were out in harvesting. BP don't come. Well, they had a bunch of little boats right now. We would have made a ton of money by now.
It's important to remember that whatever impacts the Gulf will impact the way Americans live throughout the nation.
Coastal restoration is a big item for us. We want to make sure that this estuary we have here, we don't lose it. So we're trying to do things that are going to make sure that we maintain our coast, maintain our quality level of the coast, at the same time create new and better programs for our fishery and continue to grow.
The Gulf of Mexico is a region of tremendous biological diversity and productivity. This marine and coastal ecosystem is a series of interconnected parts from the offshore.
Dude, this guy does not sound like... This guy's not sounding that persuasive, and like he really loves his job because I don't think he does anything else. But man, I'm giving you some space so you can talk your shit, my man.
Near shore, estuarine waters, freshwater, and terrestrial habitats.
It's gorgeous.
More than 2/3 of the total production of U.S. oysters comes from the...
Which serve to filter and clean our ocean water, can dramatically affect the Gulf of Effort to rebel oil from wetlands and rinsing them from fresh water released the Mississippi River, lowered the Gulf's salinity, which damaged or killed Louisiana's oyster bed. There you go. Here. There's a few. Was it 5 steps to restoring the Gulf? 5 years, grossly negligent. Restoring the sediments. Yeah. I'll post this article here on this here too, and within the chat, so that way you can be able to figure out what we can't do. Find a place to at least spread the news or whatever with the Gulf and stuff like that. This shit's crazy. Restore the sediment supplies, restore the wetlands, restore the balance between fresh and salt water, restore oyster reliefs, protect critical landscapes. I don't know exactly which part. I'll be honest, I don't know the specific ones to at least companies and stuff like that to organize and help you out and stuff like that. But, save the Gulf. It's a fucking awesome place. Great vacation area and stuff like that. Make sure to bring in the right people in, all that mumbo jumbo. Make sure, get all that good shit in. But hey, that's why we do this. So we can learn on what the hell's been going on, so we can dive deeper into it. What was the Gulf? Well, who is the Gulf? And just what's being a part of it? What traumatic things can be caused from it, and just how amazing it can be. And so on this kind of deep, I would say this is like a deep dive. I think you guys would call that. I might post this just as almost like a 4-parter or something. Yeah, I may not stream Wednesday and stuff because I gotta get ready for trips and stuff like that. But I'll upload this and divide it up in parts and covering the Gulf issue and stuff as we learn it. But yeah, no, that's how that shit goes. I definitely want to try to do my part as we learn it. I don't know. There's a lot to learn about. A lot still needs to be learned and figure out more what the hell's been going on. But hey. My name is Professor Void. I want to thank you for coming down and learning something, all right? Okay, hey, I will be live every other, live every week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 to whenever I want to close this son of a bitch up. Hey, you have yourself a wonderful day. I'm not going to be streaming on next Wednesday or Thursday, just because I got to go do real world shit and stuff and go say hi to a few people and stuff. But yeah, right now we're gonna go and hang out with a few people. All right. Oh, hey, a good friend of mine is actually live right now, so we're gonna go and check them out, and then yeah, you have a good one. All right. Love you all. Stay afraid and keep learning.
Class dismissed! His name is Professor Void. Professor Void.